So lines or linear functions are our most basic entity that we can put on our Cartesian coordinates. And let's talk about how lines are represented in terms of equations. So a line really has two determining factors above all, and that is the slope of the line and where the line intersects the y-axis, which is kind of an arbitrary decision. Mainly you need to know one of the points and the slope of the line. So let's first talk about slope. Slope is represented by the letter m. Slope is the rise over the run, meaning how steep is the line, and that's given by the delta y, change in y, over the delta x, which you could write as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you can see if you were not given the slope of a line, you need 2 points to determine what the slope is. The other thing is you just need a point on the line, and then once you get all that information, you can represent the line generally what's known as point-slope formula. And this is the famous equation, y equals mx plus b. So m is the slope that we just talked about, x and y are any point on the line, and b is the y-intercept. Where does the line intersect the y-axis? So if you're given the slope and you're given a point, you can always figure it out by using this formula, or point-slope formula, but I'm going to use this formula for now. So let's just say we had a line with slope 3 that goes through the point 1, 1. And I wanted to write the equation for that line. All we need to do is say 1 equals 3 times 1 plus b. So that b is equal to negative 2. So my line would be y equals 3x minus 2. And that would be your answer. So remember, y and x are always in your answer. You're trying to find m and b. So the last thing I want to talk about with the equations of lines is what parallel and perpendicular lines mean with regards to the things we just talked about. So parallel lines, if you were to graph them, would look something like this. So the defining factor of two lines being parallel is that their slopes are the same. Their steepness is always exactly the same. So if two lines are parallel, that means that their slopes are equal. If you have two lines that are perpendicular, perpendicular lines means they cross at a 90-degree angle. So when you have a perpendicular one line that is perpendicular to another, what you need is the opposite reciprocal. So let's call this line 2, and this one here line 1. What this tells you is that the slope of line 2, m2, has to be the negative reciprocal of the slope of line 1, which I'm writing as m1. Parallel and perpendicular are two ways that lines can be related to each other. Parallel is the same slope, perpendicular is the opposite reciprocal slope, and everything is basically going to boil down to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b.